when is it that we say that work is complete? Today we are going to do with discharge of a contract. Discharges, how is it that the contract is, whether it is completed or how is it that we initiate and complete. So it takes place when both the rights and obligations created by both the ends, the promisor and the promisee, comes to an end. The promisor it makes an offer and the promisee accepts the offer and completes the obligation also with whatever the essential requirements of a contract are. Then we say that the contract is discharged. Is the slide visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, these are, it's very important, students. This has come repeatedly in many of the university exams or the semester exams. What are the modes of discharge of contract? 15 marks question for sure in section C. So, these are the different modes as the chart says. It can either be by performing the contract through mutual consent. There can be an impossibility, operation of law, breach, which can be actual breach or anticipatory breach. So, all through these methods, it is that we can discharge a contract or the contract can be completed. Now, when it comes to performance, we can have first two as the actual performance or the attempted performance of a contract. This we did in the last class also, actual performance and attempted performance. Actual performance is one when we actually, both of the promiser and the promisee fulfills their obligation and complete with the contract itself. For example, X wants to sell his bike, X offers to sell his bike to Y for rupees 10,000. So when Y pays 10,000 and X gives the bike to him, the performance of the contract or there is a discharge of the contract. The contract is over, is complete. So the actual performance is when both the promiser and the promisee discharge whatever their offer and the acceptances. Now, attempted performance is when a promiser or the promisee are not able to do or continue with the contract. So, when the promisor offers to perform his obligation, which is as per the terms and conditions part of the contract, but the promisee does not accept the performance. In that case, it becomes an attempted performance, or where one of the parties refuse to accept the other one. So, in that case, he is not liable or he does not lose his rights under the contract. So actual contract is you complete the contract itself by making an offer and accepting the offer and completing the obligations as well. Attempted is when you one of the parties involved in the contract, the promiser or the promisee is not able to perform the contract or refuses to perform the contract. That is known as the attempted performance. Next, let's move to the discharge by mutual consent. Now, mutual consent is when both of them agree to the terms and conditions of the contract. That is what is known as mutual consent. Under this, again, we have six types: novation, rescission, alteration, remission, waiver, and merger. We will do with each one of them, keeping in view what mutual consent is. So, discharge can also be through mutual consent when both the parties agree to certain terms of the contract. Now, the first one is novation. This is a new term. Now, this refers to where there is a substitution in the contract itself, and in place of it, there is a new contract between the parties. The parties can also be different. That is known as novation. I repeat, in the case of novation, you've been in a contract, but there is a change in the contract either in the parties or in the terms and conditions of the contract itself. Let's have an example. For example, X owes Y rupees 20,000. Okay, so Y has got to pay X rupees 20,000. Now there is another person Z who has got to pay Y 20,000. Now Y says to X that in place of me, Z would make in a payment to you. Z would make in a payment to you. So now there is a innovation. Earlier the contract was between X and Y. Now there is a contract between X and Z. So there is a variation. The amount would be the same, or the subject matter would be the same. Only thing is the person who is liable. There would be a new contract itself. Are you able to understand, student? Mutual consent. The first one is novation, where the original contract itself is in place of it, there is a new contract which comes into force. So the party of the contract changes in this example. Next is rescission. Now, rescission refers to cancellation of the contract itself. So, either of the parties, if they are not able to perform, might be due to some reasons, and they don't mutually agree that okay, it is not possible, and they cancel the contract, then the discharge of the contract is over and the contract comes to an end. So, through mutual consent, one is novation, where in the place of an original contract, a new contract comes into force. In the case of rescission, the contract itself is cancelled due to some circumstances. For example, I agree to pay rent. I agree a rental agreement. I want to come and stay. I fix up a house and I agree to the rent of the place and I want to come and stay there. But due to some other circumstances, I am not able to come over there. So the contract, if it's a mutual consent, I tell the owner and I tell him that I would not be. So I cancel the contract itself. Clear, students? Next, coming to alteration, it's as the name suggests itself, there are certain terms of the contracts that might be varied or changed. That is known as an alteration. So let's do with all the three once again. Novation is in place of the original contract, a new contract is signed. In case of rescission, the contract itself is cancelled. In place of alteration, some of the terms and conditions of the contract changes, but it is mutually agreed and you perform the contract. Now, remission is a case in which now I'll first give you an example and then explain. Like in this previous case, X accepts X owes Y rupees 10,000. But he is there are certain financial conditions because of which he is not able to pay. So he pays only rupees 8,000. In place of 10,000, he pays only rupees 8,000. So Y accepts it in full settlement of his claim. So the whole debt is discharged. So there is a compromise which is made in the contract, no terms and conditions attached. Understanding there's a mutual consent and they understand the situations of each other and they agree to the terms and agree to a lesser amount which is paid. So remission is where there is an alteration or the promisee may dispense with or remit the performance of the promisee to the extent of either it can be an extension of a time or the subject matter itself can be reduced or the consideration amount also can be altered. So in any of these cases, there can be a remission wherein lower or it is actually a lesser value which is agreed upon by mutual consent of both the promisor and the promisee. Are you able to differentiate between the first four? Novation, rescission, alteration, and remission. See, in the case of remission, we don't do any alteration. It is I accept it and the contract comes to an end itself. In the case of alteration, some terms and conditions are altered. Next, let's move to waiver. Now, waiver is another one in which certain obligations of a person arising under contract are waived off. For example, a lot of newspapers and all the interest now due to corona, that a lot of interest have been waived off, or you are given a moratorium period to pay your interest, your EMIs, etc. So you already were paying a loan to the bank, but now a period has been, or there is something which is waived off for you. Instead of paying it this month, that is that next month there is a waiver given to you either by the party or by the government itself. That is known as waiver. Able to understand the difference, students? Innovation, rescission, alteration, remission, and waiver. And lastly, it is merger. Now, merger is something different from, now in place merger means in place of a contract there is something which is clubbed or which is added to the contract itself. Here, in the case of merger, what happens is an inferior right of a person arising under a contract. There is some inferior right which already was there in the contract. Now there is a merger of it, and it there is a superior right arising under the same contract. I repeat, there must have been some inferior right of a person under a contract. Now, in the same contract, it might be that the person is having a superior right under the same contract. Now, for this, I will again give you an example. There is a tenant who is being staying in a house. So here the tenant is a inferior person who is staying, who is having an inferior right over the in the contract. He is some paying for something which is given to him for the in the flat. When he purchases the flat, he becomes superior. So that is known as a merger contract. So somewhere where he was an inferior, he had an inferior right. Now he is a owner itself and he enjoys a superior right. Is that clear, students? Novation, rescission, alteration, remission, waiver, and merger. Just go through it once. If you're still not able to understand, let me know. We'll just do it once again. I don't know. These are all through mutual consent in a contract. Impossibility. When does it arise that there is an impossibility of doing contract? When either the subject matter of in the contract itself is destroyed, like I promised to deliver goods, but due to certain circumstances, the goods itself are destroyed, either by in the process of travel or any other thing. The subject matter itself is not there. Or I can give you one more example, like A and B agree to buy. A wants to sell his dog to Y for an amount. Before selling before the contract was had come to a completion, the dog has died. So in that case, it is an impossibility of performing. When the subject matter itself is not there, then it would be difficult for it is impossible to carry on with the contract itself. One is where the subject matter is destroyed. Two is it can be the death of or I am not in another or the personal capacity incapacity of a person to carry on the contract itself. There would be a declaration of war, flood, etc., national calamities, because of which I would not be able to perform the contract. That would be accepted. There are any changes in the law, in that case, I would not be able to perform the contract itself. So, these are the circumstances under which I would not be able to perform the contract. One, destruction of the subject matter itself, death or personal incapacity of a person, declaration of war or other natural calamities, and change of law itself. Clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Who said that? Yes.
Adit, ma'am. Adit.
Thank God, there is another person now. Okay. Now, the modes of discharge we've done with performance, mutual consent, and impossibility. Operation law is as per legality. It is that yes, I've got to perform the contract. Then it is operation of law that I have to do. For example, what would happen in the case of death of the promiser? Will the contract be carried on, or it comes to an end? The contract comes to an end. Common students, what happens in the case of death of the promiser? It comes to an end. What happens when a person becomes insolvent? He is not able to pay. In that case, what would happen? Great. It can be either because he is not able to pay at all. So, as per the operation of law, it is that the contract is already discharged, which is because he is unable to pay his debts also. Or it is a mutual consent that they might agree for a lesser amount, and some compromise has to be given to the promisor. And again, by if there is any liabilities and the rights occurring to the same person, in such situation, a bill accepted by a debtor is okay. This we do not have to complete. So, discharge by operation of law, we just have two options: either in the death of the promoter, or the death of the promisor. In that case, the contract is already discharged, which means it cannot be carried on further. So, as per law, it would be it gets discharged. So, you don't have to continue with the contract itself. And when a person becomes insolvent, there are two options where the court can say that he is not able to, or the law can say that since he is unable to pay the debts, there is no further requirement of the contract itself. Or through a mutual consent, there can be some amount which he can pay to the contract or promisor. Lastly, we would do with breach of contract. A breach of contract is one where one of the parties, that is it can be the promisor or the promisee, who fails to fulfill their obligations, who don't perform their obligations. In that case, a breach of contract arises. So it can be an actual breach. An actual breach can happen either in the case of the due date is over, or during the time of performance one of them goes back and say, no, I would not be able to perform it. So actual breach can happen only in two circumstances: either on the due date or during the performance one of the parties say that they would not be able to do the or continue with the contract. So there is breach. Both of them can claim according to the law and legally sue each other. And anticipatory breach is something, this can be either in the form of express or it can be in the form of implied. Now, what is anticipatory breach of contract? Before the time or the due date of the performance of the contract, he tells beforehand itself, either of the parties, that they would not be able to continue with the contract, or they would not be able to perform the obligation as in the contract. That is anticipatory breach. So they can either express either in an agreement and give it back, saying that they would not. Their intention is they would not be able to commit. Either they'll have to expressly, when a promiser expressly makes known to the promisee of his intention that he would not be able to continue with the contract, he can write down and express himself. Implied anticipatory is when the promiser does something, it can be either an act or other performance that makes the performance of the promise impossible. I'll give you an example for this. Okay, anticipatory breach in case of implied. What happens is there's a contract between X and Y to sell his bike for rupees 25,000. Now, before X sells the bike to Y, he already sells it to Z for rupees 28,000. So this is a breach of contract wherein he's already entered into a contract or an agreement between Y to sell it for 25,000, and now since he's getting a higher amount, he is selling it to Y, to another person for 28,000. So this is before the performance of the contract that there is a breach which has occurred. Clear, students? So breach of actual breach can be either at the due date or during the time of performance you are not able to perform. You tell it well in advance. And anticipatory breaches, it can be in the form of express, wherein you tell before performing the contract itself that you would not be able to perform. And implied is before the contract takes place, there is a breach, as in the example that I gave you just now, where X wants to sell his bike, X agrees into a contract with Y to sell his bike for rupees 20,000. But since there is a good offer made by someone else, he sells it to him for rupees 28,000. So there is a breach of contract before the contract is completed itself. And lastly is lapse of time. So when that the due date of performing the contract is over, there is no chance of it except for the mutual consent that yes, they can give an extension. Other than that, if it is a lapse of time, the contract cannot be completed. I just want you to go through this chart individually once and see that you're able to understand. This is a very, very, very important question for your semester exam. What are the different modes of discharge of contract? Performance, actual and attempted, mutual consent, novation, rescission, alteration, remission, waiver, and merger. By impossibility, under what circumstances is it that I cannot perform? Operation of law, breach, which can be actual breach or anticipatory breach, and finally it is lapse of time. We will do with breach and what is breach of contract, the different types of breaches, and the remedies in case if there is a breach of contract in detail in the next coming week.